Welcome to the Veneration podcast. Veneration is a fitness and nutrition coaching facility in Johnstown, Ohio, and while we obviously do the workout thing really well, we're obsessed with our town and with our community. On this podcast, we'll be covering local happenings, food and drink spots here in town, interviews with our awesome members and other local business owners in the area, and of course, we'll jam on fitness topics with our coaching team as well. If you're in Johnstown and looking to stay up to date with everything that's happening and learn a thing or two about how to enhance your fitness and nutrition along the way, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and get notified when we release new episodes. If you or a friend would like to begin your health and fitness journey with us, you can click the link in the show notes to book your free new member consultation. We'll sit down with you, learn more about your health and fitness goals today, and we'll get you started on the path to the new you right now. Enjoy the show. What's up, brother?
Nothing much.
I am pumped to interview you.
Why?
Because you have been someone that I have watched have a dramatic transformation in the best of ways, because it's twofold, both physically and I think the overused phrase would be like emotionally. That's a weird one. Let's go with one of the words that we use, which is mentality, right? That's like part of our big three: fitness, nutrition, mentality. And when I first met you, that's not true. When I met you the second time, I first met you a very long time ago.
Yes.
When I met you the second time, you were someone who was motivated and ready for a change. But I think at that time that your light had been dimmed a little bit.
That's fair. Yeah, very fair.
Shout out to COVID
Yeah.
as being the lockdown.
spark.
I don't know if you know this. You have to tell me if I've already told you this in person or not.
Okay.
I talked about you on another podcast, and I didn't mention your name. But I'm going to tell you right now that I was talking about you. Okay. You were someone, this would have been like probably 3-ish months ago, that I walked into the gym. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I think I walked in to pick something up. And I don't think you saw me. I walked in from the back, and you were facing like forward. It was like during a warm-up. And it was like a completely different person. You by all means, when I met you...
That's probably been, 2.5 years ago?
Well, let's talk about like when you started at the gym. It would be
9 months.
9 months, right? Yeah. So 9 months ago. By no means were you someone that I don't think that you had like a ton of work to do on Brad. Man, I think you started as a really good, great person at Veneration, and you're just an exceptionally great ball of energy. You have this glow. You have this thing about you now that is contagious, and it fires me up. So I'm excited to interview you.
Wow, that's some really cool feedback, because I don't see it because it's me, but coming from a different party, that's really cool, because I feel it, but I don't know if other people can see it. So I guess that just confirms the emotion and the mentality change that I've gone through, in the past 8-9 months. So
I would never tell you any version of that if I didn't mean it wholeheartedly.
Well, I appreciate that.
I was stoked to. Well, actually, I asked your wife before you to come on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's all right.
But I'm pumped to have you here, and I'm pumped to get your story, because it's you're saying that you feel it, but it's very, very noticeable. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about you. I'm going to ask you a couple questions first, because I like these. These give people a good pulse on who you are, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
So let's do this. Favorite book?
I got to go with the Bible.
Good. That's the most common answer on here, which I think means we're in good company.
Yeah, it's I could think of a lot of Dean Koontz novels that I read, but the favorite book, and I've actually read the Bible cover to cover in my day, and I've done some studies on it and stuff like that. But it's a history book, it's a life lesson book, and it just is basically a biography, so to speak, of Jesus. And I just, I'll pick it up and read it, and sometimes I will think about it and don't do it, but it's always there.
Do you, when you say you read cover to cover, like quite literally, they just like opened and read through?
It took a couple of years. Yeah, I was in high school wondering what this whole God thing was about, and bouncing in and out of church, and I was a student, basically, and read it from a student's aspect just to see what it was all about. I didn't understand a lot of it at the time, but I did read it
So
cover to cover.
Today, what how do you read it? Like, what is, like, how do you, when you open up, what, I always hit the mic. When you open up, what is the like, how do you end up in Mark?
It's usually usually it's because, and I'm embarrassed of it, but at the same time, you're sort of proud of it. Is usually it comes from a struggle or from something that's going on, and you need some type of context. So you look up, hey, what's going to tell me about envy, and oh, okay, here it is, Mark, Luke, James, whatever, and I go there and read about it and try to understand it and try to put it into the context of what I'm talking about, or what I'm thinking about.
I think that's incredible. I think that's awesome.
Don't ask me my favorite verse because I'm too nervous to tell you to remember it.
So I have a tattoo, and I got it. So I wanted it from when I was like 16. I had gotten hurt, like really hurt, and there's a really cool story that goes with that. But this is about you, not me. Anyway, I wanted it for a couple of years. My parents, mostly my mom, said absolutely not until you turn 18 for whatever. I mean, I guess the 18 age. So for my 18th birthday, we went and I got it. And so I was like strutting it around and pumped. And then the first person that asked me what the verse was, I froze up because I was nervous and I couldn't say it. And I was like, this is on my body.
Yeah.
So I won't do that to you. Aside from the Bible, you mentioned Dean Koontz, which would be fiction.
Heavy science fiction, really scientific stuff, and way out there chaos. But yeah.
So aside from, do you read more fiction or nonfiction?
Both, because I'm big into history too. So I mean,
my wife is a history buff.
It just depends on what I'm at. I mean, hence the vacation to Williamsburg, Virginia, and stuff like that. It's just something that I enjoy. I'm deep into my ancestry and trying to prove that out. Hence the trip to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and Burnville, Pennsylvania, is because that's where I'm originally from. So, according to Ancestry.com and the research.
What have you learned along the way?
I think I've had a grandfather on the parental side, or what do you call it? The father's side, basically fighting every war that's been in the continental U.S., starting with the Revolutionary War. So we came over in 1745, I think, from Germany. So,
what started this dig in your ancestry?
My uncle was into it and shared some information with me, and it's almost like a mystery. I used to read Hardy Boys mysteries.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, and it's turned into a literal mystery for me to try to figure out. I've got everything down to about one guy that I think he's the 5th generation grandfather above me. That there's just no history there, but he's the tie-in. So he sort of disappeared in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and there's no history about it. So I gotta find it,
Dude, so on my so this is the Veneration podcast. On my podcast, I had my grandpa on, and live, he's just like, and my grandpa's such a cool storyteller because he's just going, like, if you ask him a question, he'll go for 45 minutes and we'll get deep into whatever. It's super cool to listen to. He's 96, so there's all kinds of stories. And I learned on that podcast that his father was adopted. So the Strout name is an adopted name.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's not blood. And I didn't know that, right?
That's crazy.
So then since then, this would have been a couple months ago now, between then and now, I've learned so much as well. I did a deep dive, Ancestry.com, the whole 9 yards, because I guess that was the spark that made me interested in, like, who are we? And the maiden name was, now I can't even think of it. But what's crazy is that my grandpa's biological father and all the family above him on the family tree, they all have the same names that are still in my family: James, Philip, and everything. It's nuts. It's like a mystery. It's like this weird connection of everything. So,
and it's the same in our tree, is that a lot of Williams, a lot of Henrys, a lot of Michaels and stuff, which are just good old German names, and they're either middle names or first names. Just carries on down. So yeah, it's cool.
Cool. So, all right, favorite song or artist or I'm going to pause the conversation real quick to share something with you that I genuinely believe can change your life. About a decade ago, I had an interest in trying out this CrossFit thing, but my only option was to go to a gym and get thrown into a group class with 20 other people who had been doing it for years before me. I was way in over my head. The workout was insane. I didn't know anything, and I felt really silly jumping in that way. I knew there had to be a better way, and there was a better way. My wife and I founded Veneration in 2015, and we created the Veneration Immersion program. That's 5 one-on-one 60-minute private sessions with your personal coach. We'll teach you the ropes and the lingo of CrossFit. You'll graduate VIP feeling smart, you'll know how to move safely, and you'll be prepared for success for years to come. Many people decide they don't want to come into class and they want to continue working one-on-one with their coach, and that's totally awesome. Veneration can be for everyone, but group class isn't. This is CrossFit done right. Click the link in the show notes to book your free new member consultation so that we can sit down to learn more about your health and fitness goals today. Now back to the show.
I think a song that I can relate to, or a song that means something to me, something different to me almost every time I hear it, is "I Can Only Imagine" by Mercy Me. It's just like every time that song comes on, it just sparks a different memory of my childhood or something in there. It's really profound, and it always gives me chills. Even talking about it, I got a little bit of chills because it hits me here, so.
Very good. Movie.
Bull Durham.
What?
Bull Durham.
I don't know.
Baseball movie.
See, I'm disappointed in myself. Mine's The Sandlot, so I'm like same vein.
They're close, yeah.
Good stuff. See, those 3 questions always prove well because like anybody who knows anything about you, those all 3 make sense. so that's really good, dude. Tell me a little bit, and this is very open ended, and that's on purpose. Tell me the Brad Boroff story. Where are you from? We can get into like education. What brings you to Johnstown? If you're not from Johnstown, let's do that.
Okay. Really simple. I mean, the memes are out there all over, but I am an 80s child. I had the fortunate upbringing to actually spend my teen years in the 80s, all the way up through my high school graduation in 87. So, all those the Brat Pack and everybody, those were all directly related to the emotions and the things that I was going through as a teenager. So Michael Anthony Hall, was the nerd hero of mine, and Molly Ringwald was my heartthrob. Tiffany and Deborah Gibson, they're Debbie back then, but now it's Deborah.
Okay.
Those were some of the teen heartthrobs that me as a teen guy had. Very typical, no helmets, trying to jump 14 skateboards on your bike on a ramp made out of 2x4s and cuts and bruises. Sandlot. I mean, if you couldn't find us at the local Little League field, we were in a vacant lot down the street playing home run derby, wiffle ball home run derby, or we were playing real baseball, at the Little League. And that was all around Findlay, Ohio.
Okay.
So northwest Ohio, Hancock County. Graduated in 87, went on to college to play baseball. I didn't go to college for an education. I went to play baseball. I had pretty much a career-ending injury in my freshman year.
What was it?
Slipped a disc and cracked a couple of vertebrae, diving for a ground ball, and 6 months of rehab. I elected not to do surgery, fusion surgery at that time, because there was some special doctor that put me in traction, and but never came back and just never had it. So I think if somebody did something special in a sport and you were really good at it, and something happened, and you come back and you just don't have what you had before, it's a psychological blow as well as a physical blow. But I picked up golf because I could do that and got pretty good at that. Went to a whole bunch of colleges. Holly will refer to it as I was on the decade plan. But everything's a blessing, and I was very fortunate. She went to grad school and got her master's in education, and I still hadn't got my degree yet. And she goes, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I'm sort of good at this video game thing. And that's how it all began. I went and got a degree in information technology, then got a bachelor's degree in business, went on to Xavier for my MBA, and just fell a little bit shy, but all this time it was all paid for by General Electric because I was actually working for them full time. So very fortunate, very blessed. So, but I'm from Ohio, spent, time I grew up in near Findlay, went to school in Canton, ended up in Cincinnati with the golf industry, and now I'm in Columbus with a brief 4-year stint in Springfield, Illinois.
Okay.
So, but now I'm an IT guy. I call it an IT professional. I've done pretty much everything from, third shift operations of old mainframe systems all the way up to CIO, C-suite. And now I'm back down to just management and enjoying life.
Awesome.
Priorities change.
Yeah.
So
Very good. So why work brought you to Columbus? Is that right?
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you end up in Johnstown?
We originally, when we came back to Ohio, we came back to Columbus courtesy of Nationwide Insurance, who brought me back from Illinois to program manage their identity and access management and information security. We picked out PAL because the school's Olentangy school system,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time it wasn't this hopping, every block a new neighborhood. It was still relatively quiet. We lived in the older part. Houses were 20, 30 years old. Okay. So, my son actually got hooked up on a baseball team out of Sunbury, summer baseball team, and we met some families that were from Johnstown, Sunbury area. I worked downtown at the time, and from Powell, it was taking me 45 minutes just to get down to the highway, and another 30 minutes to get downtown. So commute was terrible, and we just wanted to, I'm a small town guy, so we just wanted to get out of the big city type living.
Yeah.
But have the amenities close by if we needed them.
Man, these stories are so interesting to me. Your story particularly because, mine is about a 1/12 of that length. I went to school at Northridge, and then I absolutely felt like I had a duty. It was going to be a disservice not to bring this thing that was on my heart and on my mind to where I grew up, the closest town being Johnstown, right? So yeah. It's 10 minutes down the road. So for someone to land on Johnstown, it's super cool to me. I think that's super neat.
Yeah, but it's all because of the relationships. It's weird how things happen. It's all because of the relationships that we developed and how your priorities are shaped by the people you're around, and what the definition of comfort or livability or simplicity is to you. And we found it in Johnstown. We're very happy here. Didn't hurt that the housing market in Powell skyrocketed, so I made a crap load of money selling the house and moving out here. But that was all in the plan.
Somebody's plan, maybe.
Yeah, that was all in the plan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've alluded a couple times to this. You have said priorities a couple times. Mm-hmm. What are your priorities? What are your passions? What are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about baseball. I'm passionate about mentoring and coaching. I call them young people, but that's because I'm old now. So, but I've had good success in my career, in the IT career, of mentoring some great minds into being very good professionals, whether it be business or technology professionals. And I think, and then coaching baseball. I was talking to some fellow coaches, and this is a really fun time for me to live these passions because I've been able to coach them through their kids' years in baseball, which is basically teaching them how to throw and hit and the right way to field a ground ball, and and you get in, just get the out. But now that they're 16 and 17 for the past couple of years, it's been really fun because they're past that, and now I get to teach them about strategies and the detailed stuff is, hey, I see you getting on that ground ball, but let's get the glove at a 45-degree angle instead of 90-degree. That way, and they get it. You don't get the deer in the headlight look. They get what you're talking about.
What a great example of delayed gratification, right? You've been patient over this amount of time to have the ability to now head into the next stage, the next progression of coaching.
Me, patient.
Yeah.
I'm pretty intense, but it's and I'm especially intense on the baseball field. But it did require patience, but now it's paying off. So
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Super cool. So today you coach. You're coaching multiple, and
I'm an assistant varsity coach at Johnstown, and then I also have a 16U. We're going in our 17U elite summer baseball club.
Tryouts are today. Is that right?
Yesterday and today. So
Sweet.
yeah, we had tryouts last night. Got a couple prospects, and we got tryouts again tonight. But then I'm off. So after 6 months and 60 games of hardcore baseball, I get to take a few months off and not worry about anything except collecting fees and getting ready for next year. So
very good. So talk to me about challenges and
I got one more passion. Can I share one
go
more passion?
please? I want you to share as many passions. That's the best.
Because there is a theme. No, the passion right now is me and getting healthy and getting back to being who I wanted to be through all these years of maturity. So that's another passion of mine, and I'm very specific on taking the time to do that. And Veneration's part of it now, so it's pretty cool.
Explain to me like that person. There's a vision there, right? You're saying you're passionate about pursuing this vision that you have for Brad.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it. What are you are the definition of battleship versus cruise ship, man. You're not just like lounging and seeing where this goes. Like you're on a warpath towards something.
I'm fighting for it.
What's up?
Yeah.
What are you working toward?
Simplicity, simplifying my life, humble, comfort, and just enjoying the things, enjoying what I've built and what I've battled for. It's a continuous fight, and I'm going to get there someday. But ultimately, I guess I could sum it up by just saying, living my passions. That's it. I want to live my passions.
What are the challenges that come with that? So it's constant fight. I think I'm poking because I think that like selfishly, I think that our answers are probably somewhat similar. So what are the struggles? What are the things? What are the roadblocks? The things that prevent this?
The one thing that I've been able to eliminate that has been a struggle in the past is money. It just doesn't matter anymore. I always had my eye on the prize in previous lives of I want to make as much money and have as much power and be that C-level executive, and I don't anymore. And so that's not a headwind for me. That's not a challenge. The challenge I now is my own vanity. It gets in the way sometimes. My own intensity and ambitions, because some of that stuff creeps back into your brain. Oh, you could be really good at that. You could be the best at that. You need to work well, but that's not a priority. That's not a passion. So, let's put it back there and think about it a little bit more. And the other thing is change. One thing I didn't tell you about growing up is I moved a lot. Growing up in the 80s was definitely awesome, but there was a lot of collateral damage from the 70s. High interest rates, inflation that had to be controlled. So my dad was in the service. By the time he got out of the service and settled down, interest rates were too high. They couldn't afford to buy a house. So we spent a lot of time in rentals, moving. And that over time, that created an adverse attitude towards serious change. So once I get something that I'm comfortable in, you got to pull me out of it. Like going home, having a couple of beers, watching some TV or something like that. That was a habit. And so changing that takes effort. And I was resistant to change. So those are some of the headwinds too. I mean, and if I'm in a sweet spot at work or something's really working or a process is really going well, why change it? Well, I'm in a field of technology where it continuously evolves and gets faster and faster and faster. I have to change. I have to adapt to stay in the game. You know what I mean? So, and when you have an adverse attitude towards change, sometimes that gets in the way. But I think I've done a really good job, especially over the past decade, and especially probably within the last 2 years of fighting that constantly.
Something that I think that you do a really good job of, and I've been writing a lot about this recently, and you are someone that is on the front of my mind when I'm writing and producing content about this topic. And that is, when it comes to doing difficult things or just simply new things, which inherently are difficult change, it is really not about motivation or like willpower. It's about creating habit. It's about creating it. So you mentioned system. It's about creating a system and a process, and then sticking to that plan. And that first hurdle, that first fork in the road and the challenge that you come upon is making the decision to do the change, right?
Correct.
But you do a great job of, once you overcome that, that challenge, that hurdle, and you make the decision to change, I've witnessed you create good system, create good habit, and then just do the dang thing. That's cool.
Right. Thank you.
That's very cool. So I want to, okay, here's what I want to do first. I know that's something that you're very proud of, and I want to give you a chance to talk about it. I want you to talk about your family a little bit. Okay. So tell me about your wife, your kids. It's okay. It's anybody listening is just going to be upset with us because it sounds like a heavy bass every time you punch the thing. I always flick it. Talking about your family, your wife, your kids, and the things that you guys are involved in together, because you live a really cool, interesting life.
Oh wow, thanks. That's wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, Holly and I are we're truly partners. I mean, we have done so much to support each other through the years, and it's really special. And I'm really proud of the relationship. And when we first got married, we didn't have a lot of things in common, but we had things in common. But those things that we did have in common sort of just formed a core base, and we've grown so much off of that. It's really been, it's so easy, and we love each other so much, it's almost effortless. That, you really don't realize how far we come and how solid it is until you're in a situation like this where, oh wow, man, if I look back 10 years, if I look back 15 years, oh man, we really, we've this and this and this and this is equal this, But she's a education professional, an educator, and she, she is a true engineer of the household, and it's just really cool, and it's hard to express, the feeling that we have, and I mean it's almost to the point now where we're finishing each other's sentences, and now it's just like, something will come up with like the boys, and we'll just look at each other and we're both thinking the same thing, and we don't even have to say it. But one of us will say it just to confirm. It's like, okay. That's cool. So, yeah.
You guys make a very great team. It's very it's very obvious.
Yeah, and I'm having a blast. Something new and changed is we're working out together, which is cool. We had done that in the past, but it has not been in the same format or the same form as we get to experience, in the box with the tribe. So it's been really cool.
There is I can't name something that is more profound in building a relationship, whether that is with a friend or your spouse. I cannot wait to work out side by side with my son. So right now I'm like dad, coach, leader, and that will be the case always. But I really do look forward to the relationship that I have with my dad. I got to bench press with my dad this morning.
I know.
It was cool, man.
And you let me be a part of it, and that was really cool. I was like, oh man, this is pretty cool.
It's cool. I get to talk smack with him.
Yeah.
And
so that's what you guys are doing. I knew there was something going on. It was so loud with those chains, but I could see the smirks and the grins, and I was like, they're.
It's so much fun.
And here I'm holding you guys back.
Get out of here.
This puny little weight.
Get out of here. No, it's phenomenal. And I could talk about my dad and how much respect I have for him and a million different avenues, and then particularly in his fitness. But I'll save that for another time. But you talk about you and Holly, and I'm telling you, man, it's so cool to watch because it's really hard to bond over something in a stronger manner than like when you're both 50 burpees into a set of 100. It's like, wow, we're both doing this shared suffering thing, and like we're both getting better for it too, and we're leading our family. It's such a cool thing. So
yeah, a good memory is I think you were there when we did the superhero thing, and Holly and I did The Incredibles. That was pretty cool because we watched that movie with the boys when they were young, and it's like, oh man, as soon as this came up, it's like, we got to be The Incredibles. She's like ordering the stuff online. I'm like, okay, how can we make this perfect? You got to get the masks,
so awesome.
It's pretty cool. And then, I got twin boys that will be 17 on Friday. Proud of them. Like, you wouldn't believe they turned into fine young men. That's a lot to Holly's credit. She spent a lot of time with them. Fortunately, we were in a position where she could be a stay-at-home mom during a crucial point in their life. And I've got to coach and mentor and be a dad, but also, be a boss or, with them and teach them pretty cool stuff. And then we have Chloe. She'll be 12 here in September, but we adopted her from China 9 years ago. And she's just fantastic, special. You don't know what you're getting yourself into when you do something like that. But in the first couple of years were extremely tough. A lot of people, we're very fortunate in the United States to have the lives that we do and the resources available to us because 2 and 3 year olds in the foster system in China, they don't have those resources available to take care of them. And mental, physical ailments consume their lives. And to bring her to the United States and get the necessary medical care and mental care is a real struggle. But, she's a dynamic, intense young lady. And Holly and I are just thrilled that things have worked out the way they have. So,
can I ask you some questions about that process?
Sure, as long as you don't make me cry.
No promises. Because what is the process that? How old were you when you adopted her?
Oh, geez. So that make me about 40-ish.
Okay,
a little over 40.
And she was 3.
Yeah.
And what led to that opportunity?
If you want me to go there, I will. But it's a God thing. Definitely a God thing. I mentioned it earlier. It's weird how this comes full circle. But we were in church one day, and my stepfather-in-law, my father-in-law, whatever you want to term, became a member of the church that we were at the time. And he was leading up a mission thing with some folks in India. And Holly and I were just like, we're seeing this orphanage stuff going on. And it's like, we both just sort of look at each other. We knew exactly. We gotta help. We gotta adopt. You can't adopt from India at that time. I don't know if you can now or not, but we immediately started researching stuff, and we just it's a whole God thing, you could just tell that we were being led through this thing, and we finally were connected in a church in Illinois because I moved there for work that had like one of the leaders in the church also was an adoption agency. And everything just led us to China, and Chloe was an afterthought. Her file was like sort of ignored, and the adoption agent said, "Here's something we have. Would you be interested?" And it's like, oh my God! As soon as I got into it, it's like, this is it. This is and everything worked out. It wasn't easy, but everything worked out.
How long into the process? So once you see her file. How long into the process until you meet her?
Well, that's the weird thing about China is you don't get to meet her. So you fundraise and you accumulate the amount of money, which it takes a lot of money to go adopt. And we had very good supporters and donations and also another God thing. We had money coming in from where we didn't even know whether we asked, we prayed, we got it. But we went to China and it's called Gotcha Day, basically. And you go to the government place, you meet them, you take them back to your hotel for 24 hours, and you have a choice. Take them back, go home, or adopt. And it's really weird. So just to give you an idea of what it's like in other. We have all these regulations over here and stuff like that. We go to China, and Holly and I literally have $10,000 in cash, basically belted to our body, because you have to grease certain places along the way, and they don't take check or credit card or anything. It has to be yen. So we had to go to the bank in China, and nothing like yen is really weird, but basically 10,000 in US dollars. You'd be a small stack like this on my body. I had to take a duffel bag in because they give you stacks of money. So, and you walk out with the duffel bag to the van with your. But
Holy
it's great.
Cow,
I don't want to take up this time. That's probably another podcast for another subject. But it was a really weird experience. But the whole process took about 2 years total till we had her back. The cool thing is once she's on, they have it so squared away that once she lands on U.S. soil, which in this was Detroit at the time,
okay.
She's a U.S. citizen. So. That was really cool, and we're so happy to have her, and I'm so proud of my family and what we've been able to do, in the 23 years that we've been here.
Such an incredible story.
Yeah,
it's yours.
There's that vanity part, but humbling. It is. It's an incredible
Man,
story.
like you're close to it.
I don't know
obviously,
how I made it.
It's amazing, and I imagine, and this is going to be my follow-up question.
Yeah.
We've successfully not made you break into tears, so I won't do it. My next question for you is it an immediate, like, just dump truck of perspective shift? Like when you're talking about like the way, like the different societies and the way that we live here versus elsewhere, it's got to just be like an insane immediate shift of perspective.
Yeah, and I'm going to screw up all these names and stuff like that. But she was located in Harbin, which is in the Heilongjiang province, which used to be Russia. It's old Russia, but China had since taken it over. There's like 0 Caucasian people there. It was us and another family, and we briefly met with them. But we had a guide that was associated with the adoption agency. And we were adamant about taking Chase and Cole. So here we have 9-year-old twin boys, and at the time they had like bleach blonde hair and blue eyes, to a foreign country. Nobody else like that in their culture, their society. It was a shock.
Wow.
And I have so many stories, but I guess the best story, the funniest story, is that we began calling the boys the Biebers of Harbin because all the little girls that like in the Russian Square, or the old Russian Square, where the old Russian Catholic Church and stuff like that was still existent and didn't get destroyed in any wars or anything, but the little girls and stuff are just in awe of these blonde hair, blue eyed boys. So I started calling them the Biebers of Harbin. And it was pretty cool, but it was awkward because when we were on the town square, literally mothers were putting babies in my arms and grabbing my arm and having their husbands or their significant others take pictures of them with me. Little old ladies running up and touching our hair, touching the boys' faces, and you know me. I'm like, you're my boys. Do not touch my boys.
For sure.
But I had to go to the guy and say, what's going on? So you are something that they've never seen.
Wow.
And probably may never see again in their lives. And that's censored. They can't talk to us because we don't understand them. So they use their other senses, but we got used to it, but you don't get used to it. It's like,
whoa, interesting.
Yeah, and when you do have Holly on here, make sure and ask her about that same thing.
We'll dig right in.
Her perspective.
We'll dig right in. That's good. I'm glad I have some good jumping points. I'll take notes after our podcast. Man, let's fast forward to today.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit about what seems to be a very, I've used the word profound a couple times today, a very profound contribution to your life, which is your veneration story.
Yeah.
I want to know let's talk about the first time we met And then let's fast forward to the second time we met and what brings you to where you are today. Why did you come to Veneration?
The first time we met?
Yeah.
I just thought it was a diet. I needed to lose weight, and I think that I was desperate. I'd done, it might have been, I did Body for Life and had great success in doing that and following the exercise, the workout routine. I had a personal trainer at one point in time that dabbled in dilated nutrition. That's pretty successful, but nothing stuck, and I think I just maybe came off a keto, which gave me the bad keto flu and all those horror stories. So I was like, I'm gonna go check out this Veneration thing. It sounds like a good diet, but I knew nothing about CrossFit or anything. And so I wasn't prepared to talk to you. And I think you probably tell that from our conversation, because you started talking about stuff. I'm like, that's a little deep for me at this point. I just want to lose a few pounds, I didn't want to talk about health or anything. I was comfortable with where I was at and resistant to change.
Sure.
So, but it's like, oh, no, I'm not gonna do this to lose a few. But as the story goes on, I get to talking about with my doctor about my cholesterol problems and losing weight, and he goes, "Oh, Brad, it's not really about losing weight. It's about being healthy." And all of a sudden, a little light bulb went on, and I was like, I think that's what that storm guy was talking about.
Yes,
so I came back and talked to you.
Shout out to your doctor, my man.
Yeah, he didn't, and it's just like a little light went off, and I came back and talked to you, and I think you can tell by my enthusiasm during that second conversation. I was already. I was like, okay, I'm prepared. I got to do something different, and it's got to be something that I can sustain, for life. And you really didn't convince me. You just told me what I already knew, pretty much in my head, and I made the decision to be part of the tribe.
You came in the best possible mindset that someone can come in with, and you said, I'm ready to get started. Tell me what I need to do. And I said, okay, well, first I need some information from you. Like, tell me where you're at.
No, I don't want to give you information. I want to jump right in. Put me on the floor. Okay?
So
let's get this thing on the road.
So this is a good testament to like so many of the questions that I've already asked today. I do know some of the answers to, because I got to learn about your story before we got you started.
You're part of my story, man.
So you came in and asked the right question. You made the right statement. Hey, I'm ready for a change. Tell me what to do and what that looks like. And so that is just a super great place to be in, a super good mindset to be in. So since then, what has been your largest success? Like, what are you most proud of in the last 9 months?
Wow. There's a lot. I'm not being, I want to stay, I'm excited. On a daily basis, I'm amazed at the change, mentally, as well as physically, in appearance and in feeling I'm in pain today because of Tuesday.
Is it your butt cheeks or your quads?
My quads and my butt cheeks. And maybe some other parts I didn't even know I had. It's been very hard to walk today. I think, and I'm going to refer to this because I got a plug, because I love the guy so much and I don't get to see him much. But, man, Daniel's right. I think it was like probably, for those of you who don't know, and I'm saying this on behalf of the podcast audience, is I used to do 545 when I first started out. And, Daniel's Zwick's in there. Emily's used to be in. I mean, there's just go on. And they were very encouraging to me. Amanda's in there. Ashley, Kendra, and those people had a profound, I use the word, influence on me in the very beginning. But something Dave just said to me early on, he because I'm sitting here watching him just freaking progress week to week to week and pounding some large weight. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. That's cool. But he would come over and support me, just lifting the pink kettlebells, when I started out. And he goes, after you've been doing this, you stick with this and you focus on form, 4 to 6 months, your brain and your muscles are going to start clicking. and firing at the same time. And you're going to be doing things that you didn't think you can do today. And I think that collectively, the most proud is because that click happened. You know, I was teasing Gabby the other day on the back squats. I was like, because I honestly, I think Sugar Wad was down, so I couldn't look up my PRs, you know, my 1 rep, and I was like, what's yours? Because I think I'm just a little, I think you may have me beat, or I don't know, or maybe I have you beat by 5 pounds or something. She said, well, my PR is 255, which I'm freaking, oh man, I'm going to be able to do that. So here I'm going up, so, okay, I'm going to set my target at 275, see how it goes. Then I got Michael over here, who's, what's your target? And, you know, we're battling back and forth, and he goes, I don't know. He goes, I'm just gonna keep going up until I can't go up anymore, and then I'll add 5 pounds. I was like, okay, this sounds like a good plan. So I set it at 275. Next thing you know, I did 300, and put it up on the board right under your 400.
Nah, man.
And then Sugar White came back up, and I look up my PR. It's 325, and then I remembered it. It was me and Tommy one day, and he was pushing me. I was like, but I'm proud of that, is because it was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go, and you know, I'm looking, and it's natural. I'm like, okay, what did Daniel do today?
Sure.
What did Storm do? And, you know, I'm checking through because I want to gauge myself and stuff like that. And man, that was a big weight for that day for the guys. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that it's fire, and what Daniel said is happening. You know?
Man, that's cool.
So that's what I'm proud of. But I think, you know, it's collective. I mean, you look at my body, you know, 6 months ago to what it looks like today. I'm proud of that. I mean, I see the change. If I see the change, that means there's change. The mental attitude, I'm proud of that. You know, I go in there with no fear, where I was really scared, you know, especially that first day, you know, because everybody knows what they're doing around you. And I'm like,
sure,
you know, and I'm just watching these girls, you know, with 35-pound kettlebells, and I got the pink ones, and it's just like, okay, Anthony told me just focus on form, you know. I'm like, okay. No pride moments, I guess.
Dude, what was your first workout in class when you graduated from immersion?
You know the answer.
I know
12 days of Christmas.
I knew it was something stupid.
12 days of Christmas, and I thought I was gonna freaking die.
I was like,
right
well,
there on the
I
floor.
suppose Brad's never coming back again.
And that never crossed my mind. This is a fantastic story and if you're new to Veneration, please listen to me. 5:45 in the morning. I mean, I think I finished my last immersion class Thursday, I think, with Anthony. And when's going to be your first class? Oh, yeah, Monday. Monday sounds good. I need to. He goes, tomorrow's open. You want to go? I go, God. That's 12 Days of Christmas sounds like fun. It's a fun song.
It's brutal.
Just wait until you get to. I know they will retest it.
It's coming in a couple months, few months.
But I about died that day. But you know, I finished 12 Days of Christmas, and I know that. I mean, I'm at the point of exhaustion and I don't. My eyes are closed. I'm finishing the workout basically with my eyes closed, my head down, because I'm beat, and I know that there's people that can relate to that. And I literally collapsed on the floor after doing the 12 Days of Christmas. But I opened my eyes, and everybody in the class was still. And I know I finished. Like, some of them could have had their first coffee at work by the time I got done, but they didn't leave. They stayed there. And guess what? That's not all. They helped clean and put away my equipment. And that I was just like, this is too cool. This is my place. This is my jam, you know. So, and I've just been that encouragement and that enthusiasm stuck with me. And I don't know if you know this, but I mean, if there's a first timer in any class that I'm in, I make a point to go and tell them good work, you know, or pick up their barbell or clean up their kettlebells or whatever and take them, because that's the profound impact there. I said again, profound impact that I had in my first experience.
Brother, wait until, and this is like, so you just said it, it's happening now, but wait until like 5 years from now when you are still doing that, right? When the new person just came through their initial one-on-one sessions and they're coming into class, and you see the look on their face when we not we'll help each other clean stuff up, and then if there's not the perfect weight that they need to use that day or want to use that day, when someone's like, no, please take mine, the dumbfounded look on their face, because we forget it, right? We're in it now and we're close to it, and we forget that in a traditional gym setting, it's like dirty looks when someone takes the dumbbells that you wanted. Yeah. It's like we forget those things, and it never gets old to see that light bulb moment go off when someone's like, oh my gosh, I found it. I found the thing that I was looking for. It is so great every time. So the fact that you make a point to do that is incredible, and is what makes the place so dang special. It's the people.
Everybody does it.
So cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So cool. What's next? And what are you working on right now?
I like my strength days, and I particularly like upper body, and I'm starting to see real movement and positive in my form, my structure. I hate leg stuff, and I definitely hate running, but I do it because I know it's important. What's next for me? Nutrition. And I'm gonna reach out to you and Courtney. It's just we haven't had that time, but yeah, I want to do the nutrition thing just because I told you I was. So let me get this other thing done first. I'm there, and I said I'll do the nutrition thing soon. Baseball season's over pretty much after tryouts tonight. So I can get, I won't call it a normal life, but a more simple life for the next 4 to 6 months, and so I can really focus.
Less variables.
Yeah, I can really focus and prepare my mind to make a change, because everything else is constant. So then I can change that one thing and get into the nutrition piece. So that's what's next for me.
Good for you, man.
So
awesome.
Yeah. So Courtney, hook me up with that nutrition thing. Yeah.
I know a gal. And what you're gonna love, and you already know this because this is the things that we talk about, but you're not going to get a meal plan slapped on the table and say start or figure it out, or like this is what you're going to do. It's what your doctor told you, and it's what Swick told you, and it's committing to a process and just a daily habit and a lifestyle change, incrementally, progressively, small changes compounded over time are huge. What do you wish someone would have told you before you started at Veneration?
The tribe is everything.
What does that mean?
Just that the people makes the box. I mean, that's what motivates me. If I take the time to work out my schedule for the week, knowing that I'm going to go 3 times and these are the days, I was thinking about this earlier. It's almost like another TV show that Cheers. Okay. Only at the box. Is like, I know at this point that when I walk through the door, it's like, is my name on my square? Is it on my bar stool? And I'm actually disappointed when I don't hear that. So if I miss a workout, it messes with me. I feel ashamed. It's like, I committed to it. I got to go. Those people are counting on me to be there. And so that's what motivates me. That's what makes Veneration so special. The other piece, and I wanted to throw this in, and this seems like a good time to throw this in, is the coaching. Never in all my years in gyms, all my years, dibbling with and dallying with personal trainers, I've never had this type of coach experience. Coaches that hold me accountable, that push me, don't let me be comfortable, and propel me and encourage me to make change or go for something different, and not being fearful of me not liking them, but holding me accountable to what my commitments. That is a huge difference in my veneration experience. That's key for me. Is I don't care. I mean, and I love LA. I love Gabby. I love you. I love because you guys push me. You make me want to be a better man. Old movie quote. But no, it is, and I appreciate it. I'm one of those guys that I need that, and I need somebody to hold me accountable and push me and make me do things that I can't think I can do.
Do you want to hear something really cool?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to do my best to articulate what I'm thinking.
Okay.
But it's important that you know this. So like, you had alluded to the feeling that you have when you don't fulfill a commitment, even if it was just to you on your own stinking Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, number one, I feel like I've let myself down on that. And number two, like my guys in class, whether it's my buddies or my coaches, and a lot of times that's the same person, buddy and coach.
Yeah.
They knew I was supposed to be there on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So you feel that. It is so mutual. And again, I'm going to try to articulate what I'm thinking here. But like, so you and I talked last night, and we were going to work out today at 4:15, and then schedule changed. So like we decided together that we were going to go at 5:45 a.m. By the way, for anyone listening, it's early.
Somebody didn't make coffee this morning, dude, but thought they did.
That's real. Okay, that's worth telling. So this guy drags me out of bed to work out early, and I'm up early every day, and I have a morning routine. That's when my mind is the sharpest. So that's where I do my reading, writing, I publish, and I was out there working out with him, and I wanted to make a cup of coffee this morning, and so I ground my beans. I grabbed my Good Dude's coffee, and I was pumped. And so I brewed the pot, and I was getting ready to walk out the door. And of course, I pushed it to the wire to not be late. And I poured my coffee, and it was clear. And I had forgot to put my coffee in, and I was pissed. And so I had one bag left of crappy tea, but it was the only thing with caffeine. And I threw it in, and it was Brad's fault because he made me work out early.
Thank God James was there to take the hit on that one. I didn't have to.
Yes.
I'm laughing with you because I've done the same exact thing.
It was lame. It was a lame cup of coffee. Zero coffee. So back to my point was that, so if you would, let's say you would not have showed up this morning and you would not have fulfilled on your commitment, your fear of like letting someone down, that is really, really real. It wouldn't matter what I would have accomplished this morning. Dude, I was there with my dad. Hosak is in town, which was sweet. And those are all great things. But like my circle is important to me and my people are important to me. Dude, I was just like looking forward to seeing your face. And that would have negatively impacted my experience today at my own stinking gym. But at the gym, I think I'm certain that it's a testament to the value of a strong circle and a strong support system. That fear is real, that when you commit to your people, and that is what I believe is a huge factor in driving success is the people that are in your circle. So, while you're grateful for the gym and the people and the coaches, it's 1000%, what is the word I'm looking for? Reciprocated. So it's just important that you know that it is real. Like, that is a real thing.
It is. So. And I just love it. Everybody pushes everybody. And this morning was special. I didn't realize that when I woke up at 3:45 and couldn't go back to bed because I knew that I was meeting Storm at 5:45. But it was special because Brian's back in town. I didn't know that. But it was good to see his face. You know, Stephanie, I haven't seen her in ages. I'm working out mostly at 4:15 now, but to see some of those faces again, there's some new ones too, which makes me happy too, because it's like, okay, meeting new people, all right, cool. But seeing some of those, seeing Ashley, Sans child, you know, when I was working out with her, I mean, she was and you know, so it was special for me this morning too, and getting to see and watch you and James hang out and live together and being part of that. It was special to me too. And the really cool part about it was, I can tell you this, if that would have happened like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to hang out with you guys or hang with you guys in the weights that that you were doing. But today, I think I did pretty good. I did good.
Dude, you did good. By the way, you didn't hang. You were leading the pack. Like I was struggling on the
that last round was tough, man.
It was good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah,
man.
but that was really cool, and to experience that is special to me. It's cool.
Well, it is. I'm losing the words that I want to say, but it is 100% equal coming from me as well. I'm looking for. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So Brad, I did come with some notes today. There is a few things that I want to make sure that I don't miss on asking you. Who would you say, and as your journey defined as just your life, who would be the most influential person in your journey?
Wow. There's been quite a few influential people in my life journey.
It can be multiple, by the way. You can say multiple people.
I would say my paternal grandpa Shorty, was 4'11", fought in World War II. Just a profoundly wise guy. Not wise in a smart aleck way, but I mean a wise guy. Just a hard worker. No college education, came back from the war, got married, went to work at a fertilizer plant, and spent his whole working career at that same job, which is unheard of in today's terms. Sure. My maternal grandfather, Papa, who just passed away from COVID last year, and Alzheimer's and dementia at the ripe old age of 92, was the same way. No college education. He wanted to go to war, World War II, but he had asthma. So at that point in time, they didn't have the modern medicine that we did. So they didn't want him having an asthma attack in the, middle of the battle. Yeah. But went to work and pretty much worked for the same company, his whole life. But they were wise men that I looked up to, and they always had an opinion and weren't afraid they were unabashed about their opinions, but they were very well behaved. They weren't brash with their opinions. They were just, this is what I think, and this is what it's going to be. And throughout the years, they were always there to support me no matter what I did. I'd be playing baseball in Bowling Green, Ohio, and one of the grandpas would show up and be there to root me on. They didn't always have to come announced or anything like that. So, that's those guys, had a big impact on who and what I wanted to be when I grew up. But I've been able to adapt to the current culture and stuff like that. And I just parlay and say I've stayed in the same industry for over 2 decades, and that's technology. But jobs come and go. It's just today's world. Sure. So, yeah, they've been the most influential, and they were pretty humble and thrifty, both of them. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Very very common theme of that generation, man. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Grandpa Strout, 96, lied about his age to enlist.
Yeah.
Like that is so different.
Yeah.
And I think it's very
And my dad was drafted into Vietnam, so that was tough. Got to live at a cool place, but at a very young age. But got to live in Hawaii for a year or so. Right. But I was 18 months old stud on the beaches of.
Yes. Dude, before we wrap up today, what is I'm not too prideful to ask this question. Yeah. I love this question because if I came on someone's podcast, there's probably some things in the back of my mind that I would want to talk about that I would be fingers crossed hoping that they would ask me. What have I not asked you about today that you were hoping that I would? Topic, anything specific?
You've pretty much hit it. You really didn't I had to lead into it, but you didn't ask for feedback about coaching and the programs.
That's going to be after we turn it off. No, but I'll take it.
Why?
No, I'm just kidding. Let's go.
Let's go.
I want to know. Yeah. So if you're in my shoes, what is where's my focus lie? Like what are we doing well, and what could we pay attention to?
Yeah, less cardio, more strength in your program. No, I'm kidding. I understand what's going on here. The one thing that I really, really enjoy is the mix. Learning something new combined with something old. I think that's fantastic. Like doing the kettlebell push presses today with what are they, the gorilla rows. Mm-hmm. What the hell's a gorilla? Excuse my language. And by God, it looks like a gorilla row. And,
wow, the accuracy.
But that was cool. I had fun this morning, and I think that for me, not every workout's fun, believe me. But I really think that some workouts are fun. So if you can put together a program that's fun 100% of the time, that's something you can change.
Chances are it probably doesn't work, right? If you're only doing the stuff that you love to do.
And I mean, we're dragging chains around the floor now. I mean, it's cool stuff. I think maybe add a class. I don't know. Hey, is there a time gap that we're missing where you can train more people?
Yeah, man.
During the day, or give another option? Is there,
Sure.
I don't know.
If it is, those listening, because I hope to God we're reaching. That's the intent, right? I talk about this on every podcast, but the number one priority is that what we talk about on here provides value to our tribe, to our people, right? Which, by the way, compliment to you. Your story is providing value not to someone, but to many people. I promise you that. And if I promise you that, if by any chance it was lost on someone, let me reiterate one more time before we wrap up today that I can't explain it any other way than a light or a glow that this man that came in to meet us just under a year ago is a completely different, re-energized, he's not a different person, just a better version of Brad. He got his, like, he's after his
2.0.
Dude, like, you're pursuing something. We're human beings. We're built to work. We're built to apply our skills. And so your story, I promise you, is inspiring someone who's just at that spot where you were a little bit ago. And you are a walking, talking testament to that. So and then the second priority is to be that, to reach people that we haven't had the opportunity to serve, to help, to touch. And
I can't understand why not everybody in the freaking village of Johnstown's not signing up for your veneration box.
Brother,
because it's life changing.
I will tell you this
with all sincerity.
And it that is not taken lightly. I'll tell you this, and this will it's funny how the consistent themes and people keep coming up, but I'll tell you something that Daniel Swick put into better words than I ever have before, and it's the concept of culture of minimums. My friends listening, I promise you that there are organizations with cultures of minimums: minimum commitment, minimum fees, minimum results, minimum coaching. That is not us.
Nope.
By design. If you go to the traditional gym, just a traditional gym, and the claim to fame is no commitment, and which is usually talking about contracts, and we don't have contracts because I don't want you to sign a contract. Minimum commitment, $10 sign up. I promise you a couple things. You're not going to be held accountable. You're not going to have a professional coach. You're probably not going to have a coach, but if you do, it's going to be someone who is trading a membership where they can work out for free to come be a people mover.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so I'm telling you, man, if you want to have a positive, if you want to make more money at your job, if you want to become closer with your wife, if you want to do something new and crazy, unrelated to your fitness, come join our gym, because I promise you all those things will change for the better. It's happened for me, and it's happened to everybody that's around me. That's my promise. I'm begging you to take this leap for yourself. That's what I have to say.
I can tell you that I'm going to go back and watch all the podcasts, even the ones that I've already watched. I'm going to watch those again, because and I can't wait for you to invite Holly in and see what she.
Hey, she's already invited. She just told you to come first. I tried to get her first.
And I'm pretty proud of that. That's one thing that I didn't mention, and I'm sorry for a little bit over time. But
This is a conversation, bro. We're not on the clock.
It's very important to me. Is usually it's Holly dragging me to the gym. It was Holly getting me to join Orange Theory. It was Holly getting me to go to LA Fitness. It was Holly I brought Holly to Veneration, maybe.
Yeah.
And she was reluctant because it involved commitment, accountability, time, more time than just, let's pop down to the gym for a half hour.
Sure.
and move some weights around. And she loves it. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. I got to share, because much like I've shared with you, I've shared this with her. And she's no. And then she came in and was like, okay, I'll do it. And now she's like, I think she goes more than I do, I think. That's going to change because baseball season's over. But for the past couple of months, she's actually been, there with 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week. Yep. So
it's no coincidence, man. Like like-minded folks that are looking to just be better versions of themselves every day. Like that's all we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, and there's lots of couples too.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Dude, you think these chairs are like horribly uncomfortable?
I'm used to it now.
I hate this thing because if you sit back like this, you look like you're disengaged, like you're too cool to be on the podcast. But I've also been like coming across the table at you the whole time. So anyway, we got to improve these. You know what? I'm actually getting ready to move the studio, the filming studio. I think I have an idea.
Where are you going to move it to?
I can't tell you. We'll wait because I don't want to commit.
You always say that, but you end up telling me anyway.
Yeah, you'll know. Maybe next time you're back on, we're in a different location. I think it's going to be pretty sick. So I'm just going to leave you on the edge of your seat. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It won't be here. It won't be in this. Okay. It won't be in this spot.
Cool. You asked me one thing that you could change.
Yeah.
Holly told me to tell you to get more 25-pound dumbbells.
That's real. And
okay.
They are literally, they are on order. No, it's real. That is a real thing. 25 and 30 needs to happen. There's a gap. There's a gap that needs bridged because jumping from a 20-pound to a 35 is a significant leap. That's real. She's right.
No,
she's right.
I'm just sort of giving you a little bit of
oh, that's good. I need it.
Yeah, but it was. I thought it was by design. It's like, my God, Brad, you're jumping weight, man.
Well, just
stop it with those 20s. You're going to 35s right now.
Just because they're available doesn't mean that you still won't be driven to do more than you're comfortable with. If somebody wants to connect with you, if they have something to say, if they have a question to ask, because by the way, this dude has and we'll talk about this next time too, a pretty cool, there's been some really neat developments in the real estate world for him. We'll dig in next time. But if anybody has questions for you or something to say, or how do they connect with you? What's the best way to connect with you?
Shoot me an email, brad.boroff@gmail.com.
Sweet.
I mean, I share that with a lot of people, and let's start there.
Awesome.
And then, as relationships develop, and they always do, because that's one thing I've learned about Veneration is that you develop relationships, which is good for the mentality piece. Let's start out there, and then we'll go from there.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
I got one more question for you.
Sure.
Hey, can I plug something real quick? I'm going to.
Sure.
We have a super sweet event coming up at the gym. You have not signed up yet. You and your wife are going to be partners, right?
I don't know. We're discussing it.
What is there to discuss? Use your fitness, sir. It's going to be a party. It's going to be awesome. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Why haven't you signed up yet? What are you
doing? We're having trouble coming up with a snappy name to match the something thrusters or. Yeah, I almost said that too fast. The mother thrusters. Yeah.
Yes.
You
Okay.
have to think twice we're trying to come up with a catchy name.
Okay. Well, that's cool. If that's the only thing holding you up, that's good. All right. I'll give you 24 hours to come up with a good name.
It is on a weekend day though, right?
Yeah. Saturday.
So, I do. There's a boat with my name on it.
Oh, good grief. I have given you such a notice on this.
I know. No, there should not be anything stopping us.
Yeah, there's not. I'll make sure you're signed up by the end of the week. We have an awesome event coming up. It's the event of the year, and it's called the Tribe Throwdown. And I tried my best to tell the story about what it is and what it's going to be. But the best way to do it is like on something like this, where I can actually elaborate on it a little bit. It's really, the workouts are an excuse for us all to hang out. So we might as well do it all at the same time, because it's something that we do best, is hang out and work out. So it starts later in the day. It's a competition, but exclusively for the tribe. So like every other CrossFit competition that you're going to see has people coming from other gyms, all around the state, all around the Midwest, whatever, which is super cool, by the way. The CrossFit community is awesome. It's like, it's a bunch of like-minded folks, but that's also very nerve-wracking and like scary to do something for the first time with a bunch of people you don't know. These are our people. It's our family. It's our tribe. And you partner up. It can be male, female, whatever. And there's 3 workouts. There's 3 events and a couple floater workouts, which are small and quick, that are just like plugged in there. For anybody who didn't know that, that's going to be cool. And then there is a final. So there'll be a winner and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And we have something really special planned for the like during the post competition cookout bonfire hangout thing that'll run into the night. So the special thing in there is our first ever. It's the Tribe Awards. So what we have done is created 4 awards, and there's actually a 5th really, really, really special one, but 4 awards based off of our 4 core values. And there's a process that we are getting ready to roll out on who earns those awards, and then we're going to award them in front of the whole community. So this is a really, really cool day that you don't want to miss. The competition is free to sign up for. Like, just do it. Like, it's going to be so much fun. And there is a prep course too. So all the coaches have put together a preparation course, which is $30, and it's going to teach you the odd movements that I promise some of them you've never done that are going to be in the competition. So I'm quite literally begging you to sign, you and everyone else listening, to sign up, because you don't want to miss it. It's going to be sweet. It's out on my family's property. It's in the woods. Like, it's going to be fun. So
Saturday or
Sunday. September the 11th. And it starts at noon. So check-in will open at 11, but it starts at noon, which is on purpose. It's not early in the morning, because like it will run noon to like into the night. It's a fitness party with all your friends all night. So it's going to be sweet. So get signed up, you and everybody else. I have one more question. What
Save the best for last
defines a successful life for you?
I knew you were going to ask that.
No wrong answers, sir.
Man, that's a moving target, because once you obtain what you might classify as success, you start searching for something more, or can be complacent. I think success for me is really being able to see the rewards of being a good servant. So serving and mentoring I think you said it when I was talking about baseball, seeing these baseball players actually understand and come to the point where it's a totally different level. And but the example is, and I did not tell you this, is that this time of year sucks in travel baseball, because players tend to always find greener grass and want to move to another team that they think is going to give them better exposure, especially at this age for college. And you deal with it every year. That's why we have tryouts, is because, okay, I got 4 spots I got to fill. I got 4 kids left. But this is an example of what success means. And I think it's better in an example than me trying to give you a definition.
Sure.
Is that this year, going from 16 years old to 17 year olds, I have 11 returning players. and 3 that are not. But all of these players, with the exception of 1, have personally, man to man, eye to eye, told me that this past year has been the most fun that they've had playing baseball in the last decade.
Yeah.
That is success, because that's what it's all about. And I posted something on Facebook the other day with some pictures. It might have been to the group account, but it was winning championships, missing some by a few runs, making new friends, and seeing old friends. That's what American baseball is all about. And that's what we were able to achieve. We were 17, 12, and 1. What you go, well, that's okay, you know. We won a championship. We were runners up, and we also made it to semifinals in several.
I'm laughing because my son is home. That's why you're.
But when a majority of your players come to you and say, "I've had the most fun playing baseball with you as the head coach than I've had, in 10 years," that means success to me, because it's not about the record anymore. It's about the relationship and the commitment and the heart and the passion that they have for the baseball, and they're sharing that passion with my passion for baseball. So that's an example of what I think success is, and that's what makes me feel good.
You're a good dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're a good dude. That's your success is the fruits of your labor are other people's successes. Yeah. That's cool.
But if you have a child that's 16 or 17 that's a freaking awesome catcher, I need one for next summer. There's my shameless plug.
It'll be the best summer he's ever had. It'll be the best year of baseball he's ever had. We have data now, man.
I have one good catcher, but every team needs 2 freaking good catchers because we play intense baseball and wearing full catcher's gear and 90-degree heat and 75% humidity. They can only go 6 or 7 innings before they tucker out. So.
If you get that kid from this podcast and you guys win a championship, I want to be an exclusive
you want a picture
sponsor.
In the trophy?
I want to be the Veneration podcast brought this child. Dude, you are the man.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited to appreciate it. I'm really excited to follow up on this, and I really mean that. And to see where we are in 6 months, 12 months, 18, and so on. I'm really excited to see where we're at in 10 years, because you are, like I said, you are a battleship on a warpath to just better every day and living the dream along the way. It's pretty freaking cool.
Well, here you go. This is the most fun I've ever had working out.
Oh, man. I appreciate it.
Hopefully you feel like it's a success.
I don't take it lightly. I do not take that lightly. It makes it very, very fun to wake up every day. I keep saying this, but I'll say one more thing. So I'm flying out to Colorado today. So Ryan's going back home. I'm flying out to go hike with him for the first time ever. I'm terrified because of the elevation, right? And I'm pumped for it. And at the same time, the part of me that's like dreading it is that I'm stepping away from life for a minute, which is a damn good place to be. Like, I'm like,
you deserve it.
I don't, but like, it's great. Like, I don't want to walk away from my family at all. And I don't want to walk away from, like, my people. Like, I would have rather done nothing more than wake up this morning and go work out with everybody. Like, it's just so cool. And I think that's a good place to be. And I say that on here, so it's a record for myself and my family, like, long down the road, because, that's a good feeling. And you're part of that. So, without further ado, we will wrap this up. Thank you, sir, and I'm excited to follow up with you, sir.
I had a blast. This wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Your wife will be better.
Yeah, thanks. I admit that every time. She is the better half. So you got that right on the head.
We're out of here. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.